Today we've got one of my favourite bikes. It is the Husqvarna 701 Supermoto. These are a huge amount of fun. I really love riding these bikes. But we've got it on the dyno today. It's already come to us with a Leo Vinci end can. So the first thing we're going to do is take the baffle out of that. Now, it's no secret that these bikes really free up the power at the bottom end when you do the intake mod and you run a free flow exhaust on the bike. We're going to run it up initially as the bike came to us, which is with the stock air filter and the stock intake and the Leo Vinci end can, albeit with the baffle removed. And then we're going to go ahead and fit a DNA intake, a stage 2 intake kit, which is basically an open top airbox and the air filter. We'll do what we always do. We'll write the map for the bike and then we'll run it up again on the dyno to make sure that everything works as it should. So that's the base runs done with the bike. I'm just going to swap over the air filter for the DNA intake kit. Just talk you through that really. It's a really simple job. Release the seat, that comes away fairly easily. Now you've got to remove the panel around the key switch. This can be a little bit stiff sometimes. It's only sat on 2 pegs. So sometimes you end up use a plastic trim tool. Stops you scratching your bike up. Obviously pry it where the studs are, which you can see there. I generally put a little bit of silicone lube on there afterwards, just makes them go in and out a little bit easier. Next thing, we take off the airbox with a built-in snorkel. This is the restrictive part in the airbox really. The air has to breathe through this very small gap here. There's 2 screws and that slides back. DNA kit comes with the air filter and the top, some instructions and a couple of stickers for you. So the kit comprises the filter element and the lid, and that's all there is to it really. That's the stock filter, obviously just a standard paper filter, and it has a standard area that it needs to breathe through. The DNA is obviously a much bigger surface area that it breathes through, and it's a little bit less restrictive obviously because it's oiled cotton. Really well made kit this, to be honest with you. I really like the DNA stuff, which is a reason why we sell it. We don't like it because we sell it because we like it. That secures back down with the standard T30 bolts that hold the standard air cover on. And that's it. We'll get the map on it and we'll run it up again, make sure it's doing exactly what we want it to do. So that's a wrap on this. We've got the maps on the bike. Pretty much running exactly how we'd expect it to, with an open can on the back. It's a little bit down on this. We're just making just short of 59 brake horsepower at the back wheel. Just to this particular bike, they normally make about 60 at the back wheel, so maybe 1 horsepower down. But it's feeling exactly as we'd expect a standard bike with an open end can to do. They get really lean between 4 and 5, and then they start to richen up. At about 6,000 RPM, it starts to get somewhere near. We always like to add a little bit more fuel in at the top end as well on these. We had the DNA fitted, as we've said, and we've gone and done our maps for it. The gains that we've got on this particular bike are 62 brake horsepower at the top end, so again, for about 4 horsepower at the top end. But the real gains come between sort of like 4 and 5,000 RPM. This bike's up from about 30 to 38 brake horsepower at 4,000 RPM. That's really where you're going to feel it on this bike. Once you get this back on the road, you'll find that it pulls really hard. We've programmed the riding modes. Bad fuel, we never do anything with that really. Rain, we've left it restricted and numb as you would expect in a rain mode. The sport mode we've gone quite aggressive in, as the customers requested. It's how I like them as well, to be honest with you. And the normal road mode, we've left that nice and sedate, so it's nice to ride around town. Continuing with the bottom end, the really big riding differences are going to come from the torque gain. It's gone up from 63 Newton meters to 70. As you can see here, the stock map sort of like the torque comes on and then it dips out a little bit at 4,000. Whereas the modified map now just comes on torque, it stays really strong. You've got a really flat torque curve. At 4,000 RPM it's making about 66 Newton meters, and it holds that all the way through up to 6,700 RPM. It's still making 67 Newton meters of torque. So you've got a really good RPM range where the torque curve is really flat. Should be absolutely colossal to ride on the road. So the Husqy mapping is available on our ECU Flasher, so if you're not local to us, you can still get one of our bespoke maps. With this device you just plug it into your bike, send the file across to us, one of our map writers will write you a file bespoke to your requirements and to your modifications. We also do these as a package with the DNA Stage 2 air filter. There is a link in the description below. There is a little bit of discount if you buy them as a package. All our contact details are in the description below. If you need to talk petrol to us, just give us a call. We're more than happy to talk petrol to our fellow bikers. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out and it keeps you notified of any new videos that we're making.